Welcome to Small Stories, Big Healing, where old teachings speak softly into modern lives.
When you cannot quiet the heaviness inside you, even after you have tried to be strong, even after you have tried to be positive, even after you have told yourself, it should not be this hard. Have you ever felt that way? You wake up and carry your thoughts like wet clothing. Every step feels heavier than it should. Your heart is not broken in one dramatic moment. It is simply tired of holding too much for too long. And when people ask, "Are you okay?" you smile the small smile that protects them from the truth. But what do you do when your mind is crowded, when your chest feels tight, when your spirit feels far away from itself? Sometimes the kindest medicine is not a perfect answer. Sometimes it is a simple return, a return to something older than your worries, older than your plans, older than your fear, a return to nature. Once upon a time, in a town surrounded by gray buildings and busy roads, there lived a woman named Hana. Hana was responsible, dependable, and hardworking. She was the kind of person who remembered birthdays, answered messages quickly, and stayed late to finish what others left behind. People trusted her. But slowly, Hana began to feel as if her life was a room with no windows. She could breathe, yet she could not feel fresh air. Even when she rested, her mind kept moving. Even when she ate, she could not taste. Even when she laughed, something inside her remained quiet and distant, as if her own joy had moved away. One evening, after another long day, Hana stood at the sink, washing a cup that was already clean. The water ran and ran and ran. She watched it as if it were the only thing in the world that knew how to keep going. Then, without warning, her hands began to tremble, not from cold, but from something deeper. She turned off the faucet, pressed her palms against the counter, and whispered, "I do not know what is wrong with me." The next day, Hana went to visit her uncle's old friend, a quiet elder named Daichi, who lived on the edge of town near the foothills. People called Daichi many things. Some said he was a gardener. Some said he was a hermit. Some said he was simply an old man who knew how to be calm. Hana had met him only a few times, but she remembered his presence. When Daichi looked at you, it felt like you had permission to be honest. She arrived at his small home in the late afternoon. The air smelled like soil and cedar. Wind moved through the bamboo near his gate, making a soft, gentle sound. Daichi opened the door as if he had expected her. He did not ask, "Why are you here?" He only said, "Come in. You look like someone who has been carrying a storm." Hana tried to smile, but her eyes filled instead. "I feel tired," she admitted. "Not normal tired. A tired that sleep does not fix. I keep thinking, and no matter what I do, I feel separate from myself." Daichi nodded slowly, as if her words were not strange at all. Then he said, "Before we talk, walk with me." They did not go far. Behind his home was a narrow path that led into a small forest. It was not a famous forest. Not a dramatic one, just a simple place with pines, moss, and stones that had been there longer than anyone remembered. As they walked, Hana noticed something she had forgotten. The way the air felt different under trees. Cooler, softer, as if it had been filtered through patience. Daichi walked without hurry. He did not try to entertain her. He did not try to solve her. He simply led her deeper into quiet. After some time, they reached a small stream. The water moved steadily over stones, not rushing, not stopping, just continuing. Daichi sat on a flat rock and patted the space beside him. Hana sat down, and for a while, neither of them spoke. At first, Hana's mind kept talking. You should be doing something. You are wasting time. You are behind. You should have handled your life better than this. But the stream did not argue with her thoughts. The trees did not respond. The birds did not correct her. Nature did not demand that she explain herself. It simply remained. And in that steady presence, something in Hana loosened. Daichi finally spoke. "Do you know why people feel better near water?" he asked, "even if they do not understand why?" Hana shook her head. Daichi picked up a small leaf that had fallen near his foot. He placed it on the water. The leaf floated, turning slowly. "Water," he said, "does not carry life with clenched fists. It holds and it releases. It touches everything, and yet it does not cling. It moves around the stone, and still it reaches the ocean." Hana watched the leaf drift away. Then Daichi looked at her and said, "You have been living like a clenched hand, always gripping, always holding, always bracing yourself. No wonder you are tired." Hana's throat tightened. "I do not know how to stop," she confessed. "If I let go, everything will fall apart." Daichi smiled gently, not mocking her, but understanding. He reached into a small pouch and pulled out a smooth stone. He placed it in Hana's palm. "Hold it tightly," he said. Hana squeezed. The stone pressed into her skin. "Tighter," Daichi said. She squeezed harder. "Now," he said softly, "tell me what you feel." "Pain," Hana admitted. "Pressure." Daichi nodded. "That is what holding feels like when you hold for too long. Even something small becomes heavy." Then he said, "Open your hand." Hana hesitated, then slowly relaxed her fingers. The stone rested quietly in her open palm. "What do you feel now?" Daichi asked. "It is still there," she said, surprised. "But it does not hurt." Daichi's eyes softened. "Yes," he said. "Many things can be held without being squeezed." They sat with the stream again. Hana felt something unfamiliar. Space. Her thoughts still existed, but they were no longer shouting at her. They were simply passing through, like leaves on water. Daichi stood and said, "Come, there is another lesson." They walked further, up a small rise, until they reached an open area where sunlight spilled onto tall grass. In the center stood an old tree. It was not straight. Its trunk leaned slightly, and one branch was broken. Yet it was alive, green, full of quiet strength. Daichi placed a hand on the trunk. "This tree has known storms," he said. "It has lost parts of itself. It carries scars. And yet it still offers shade." Hana touched the bark. It was rough, warm from the sun. Daichi said, "You think healing means becoming the person you were before you were hurt, but nature does not try to become yesterday. Nature becomes what it becomes, and still it grows." Hana felt tears rise again, but these tears were different. They were not panic, they were release. "I keep waiting to feel normal again," she whispered, "but I don't." Daichi nodded. "Normal is not the goal," he said. "Wholeness is. And wholeness does not mean you have no broken branches. It means you stop hating yourself for having them." They stayed there until the light began to soften. On the walk back, Anna noticed small things she had ignored for months. The scent of pine, the rhythm of her own footsteps, the way the wind moved the bamboo, not forcing it, just inviting it. At Daichi's gate, he handed her a small cup of tea. Hana held it, warmed by it, and asked, "So what should I do when the heaviness returns?" Daichi answered in the same calm way.
The stream had spoken without words. "Go back to what is real," he said. "When your mind becomes a noisy room, step outside. Touch a tree. Listen to water. Watch the sky change. Nature will not fix every problem, but it will remind you of something you forget when you suffer. It will remind you that life moves in seasons. There is a time for blooming and a time for resting, a time for light and a time for quiet. And none of those seasons mean you have failed." Hana looked down at her hands.
"I don't have time to go to forests every day," she admitted. "My life is busy." Daichi smiled. "Then bring nature to you in small ways." He raised one finger. "Open a window and breathe for 1 full minute, not to escape, but to return." A second finger. "Walk outside without your phone, even for 5 minutes. Let your senses lead you." A third finger. "Keep a small plant. Care for it gently. Let it teach you consistency without pressure." A fourth finger. "Find water. Any water. A river, a lake, rain on a roof. Let it remind you that moving slowly is still moving." Hana listened as if these were not suggestions, but forgotten truths. Before she left, Daichi said one final thing. "When people suffer, they often say, 'I feel alone.' But nature does not say, 'You are too much.' Nature does not say, 'Hurry up and heal.' Nature simply says, 'You belong.' And sometimes, that is the beginning of peace." Hana walked home beneath the evening sky. And for the first time in a long time, she did not feel the need to run ahead of her own life. She looked at the clouds moving like soft boats across the blue, and she whispered, "I am still here." Days passed. Hana did not become a different person overnight. Her worries did not vanish, but she began to practice something new. When she felt overwhelmed, she stepped outside and listened for wind. When she felt numb, she noticed the warmth of sunlight on her skin. When she felt anxious, she watched water move and remembered, "I do not have to fight every stone. I can flow." Slowly, she returned to herself. Not the old self, but a gentler self. A self that could breathe. A self that could rest without guilt. A self that could heal without rushing. And this is the lesson Daichi wanted to teach. Nature heals not by forcing you to change, but by reminding you what you are. You are not meant to be clenched all the time. You are not meant to carry everything without rest. You are not meant to grow without seasons. Like the river, you can move forward without violence. Like the bamboo, you can bend without breaking. Like the tree, you can carry scars and still offer shade. So if you are watching this today and your heart feels heavy, please remember this. You do not need to earn peace by suffering more. Sometimes you simply need to return. Return to breath. Return to the sky. Return to the sound of leaves. Return to the simple truth that you are part of this living world. And you were never meant to heal alone. If you learned something today, or if Hana's journey brought you even a small sense of calm, I invite you to stay connected with us. This is Small Stories, Big Healing, short tales to soothe your heart and guide your steps. If this story should reach more people who are struggling with feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need this reminder, and comment below. What does the healing power of nature mean to you? Your one comment may encourage someone else who feels worn down tonight. And if you'd like more stories that bring gentle comfort and insight, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next healing tale. Until then, let the next breath you take be as simple and honest as the wind through the trees. Small Stories, Big Healing will be here with another tale whenever your heart needs a gentle reminder.